Hey, it's Michelle from Fly by the Seat of Your Plants. Do you remember in my last video, the dog jumped into my kitchen garden about 3 times? Our chicken, our little baby. Hey, it's Michelle from Fly by the Seat of Your Plants. Do you remember in my last video, the dog jumped into my kitchen garden about 3 times? Our chicken, our little baby Sid, was eating all the radish sprouts, which chickens don't tend to choose radish sprouts. That's hard to say. Radish sprouts. Radish sprouts. Radish sprouts. Okay, you say it 3 times fast. Anyway, they're pretty spicy. My cat's been digging in my garden. I'm having issues. My basil didn't do so good. Basil likes it hot. I have the urge to plant my tomatoes into the garden too. I planted them way too early and they're way too big for the pots that they're in right now. Red peppers too, those are way too big for the pots that they're in right now. Gooseberries are getting way too big and all these things like it hot. So I'm thinking I'm gonna build like a cold frame. I have a couple, but I have 6 beds in total, and so I need another cold frame, and I figure why not bring you along and I'll show you how to do it. Super cheap, super easy. I actually go to our local hardware store. Gardening does not have to be expensive. They always have a coal pile out front. Usually it's 75% off of these pieces of wood, and these are perfect for cold frames, garden beds, whatever you need. Or, I mean, you can just grab free pallets anywhere really out of most box stores. Gardening does not have to be expensive. I mean, your garden, if it's a 6x4, they sell sticks that are 6 feet long, that are lightweight. They're not expensive. Buy those. You can see behind me, I built my shelf out of them. It was $3. Some red peppers I'm gonna throw in there. Some I'm gonna just leave in the greenhouse. I'm also gonna put my gooseberry in there and tomato plants in there. I'm gonna put my Vancouver Island cantaloupe in there. Maybe some cucumber. And okay, so I want to put the cantaloupe, the cucumber, I want to start my zucchini, I want to do it all, but I'm worried these things can cross-pollinate, and if you put them all in one bed, how are you going to stop them from cross-pollinating, and you will destroy your entire harvest? So I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Resist the urge. Resist the urge. Resist the urge. And not only that, you can keep things that love it cold. You can actually grow those all winter long here on the Pacific Northwest if you have a cold frame. We had parsley all winter long. You can have lettuces, chards. Can you have peas? You can have spinaches. I bet you could have peas. Cilantro lasted a lot longer, but it didn't last through the winter. I think you'd have to plant it at the end of fall though. Basil won't last through the winter. How would they? I don't think they would flower. Yeah, just those hardy lettuces. I mean, those are so important to have all winter long, right? If you can, why not? You will see me struggle. It's not hard. It is not hard. It's just taking sticks and nailing them together, really. I used screws, but watch me struggle in this video. It's gonna be fun. We want to do gardening cheap and easy, but for safety, you're going to want your safety glasses, your gloves. You take a course in how to use these tools. Hardware stores, many of them just offer free courses over the weekend on how to use the tools that they sell. So check that out. Forgot the disclaimer. Okay, so the way I build is it's not safe. Okay. I don't measure anything. I rarely use safety equipment. I'm awkward in the way I do everything. Here's an example. I'm a rock climber, and I was climbing. My hips were above both my arms and my feet. Like a regular monkey. I find that with the climate on the Pacific Northwest, we've got so much rain. With these boxes, you can cover them with plastic or mesh cloth. Plastic is going to help you control how much water your bed receives. If you're growing brassicas, we've got that cabbage moth that just destroys over a night. You can make a box interchangeable where you can take out your cold frame and then put in the mesh netting. So you can have your cold frame February, March, get your garden started early, take that frame out, put your mesh cloth frame in, and then you've got your brassicas safe, or whatever other pests you're trying to prevent. I've got stuff eating my pak choi right now. It's driving me mental. I don't know what's eating it. Let's get to it. So remember, this is Fly by the Seed of Your Plants, and this is how I measure wood. I don't use a measuring tape. I just line up whatever wood I have and mark it with whatever marker I have. In this case, I used a screw. I found the 2x4s were a little too heavy, so I did have to bring down a table saw to cut them. These 2x4s would actually be great if I had a plan to keep the cold frames permanently. In that case, I would just attach hinges so that they could flip open and close as I please. Because my yard's so small, I'd like to take the cold frames off and store them just for aesthetics. So anyway, now these 2x4s are 2x2s. Perfect lightweight little things. Not like this table saw. I use this thing often, and look at what I have to do every day. Not every day. Every day I use it. This thing must weigh like 300 pounds. For background, I do have 2 broken femurs, 5 broken metatarsals, a broken humerus, tendinitis and arthritis, of course. I'm struggling more than it looks like. And that's a story for another time. So if my handsome hubby is watching, this is why the shed is so messy. Like I said, I marked up all the wood, kind of just guessed at how high I wanted it, basically based on how high I would want my brassicas to get. So you'll need 4 longer pieces for the length of the base and the top, and then 4 medium pieces for the width of the base and the top. I only marked 1 board, and then I lined up the rest with that mark and just kind of cut them all to the same size. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, no need for a measuring tape. And of course the longer and the medium pieces gotta match the size of your box. Here I'm drilling some pilot holes. I mean, you could keep it simple if you don't have any tools at all and just use nails and a hammer, but it will not last long. And if you're using screws and cheap wood, you're gonna wanna use some pilot holes because that wood will split. This is the part where you call a friend and ask for help because it gets pretty awkward. The longer pieces are 6 feet long, the length of my garden box, and those shorter pieces are, I don't know, 1.5 feet high. Like I said, I'm pretty good at finding the awkward way of doing things. I built the side of the frames first. I should have built the bottom and the top, and then just kind of plunked in those shorter pieces. Leave me a comment if you would do it a different way than that. Feeling 40. Okay, I've got my side pieces. I just got to connect them together with these long 4-foot high pieces. This is why we wear gloves. Okay, we're almost done here. So starting to look like something. This is it on its side. So you can definitely see why it would be easier just to do that large box on the ground instead of these tiny little boxes and then awkwardly placing it on top. What am I doing? I recommend grabbing an extra stick for the top piece just to brace it, like see there in the middle, so it's a little bit stronger against winds and rains and all that, and just wrap it up. So this is that pest repellent cloth that I was talking about. It's great because it lets light and water through, but it keeps the bugs out. Now this is a bed full of garlic, so I don't really need to keep any bugs away from that. I ended up putting this frame over top of my lettuces because something has been eating that. And since I've done that, it's actually helped. And I just used a hardware stapler to tack up the material. And now, my friends, I can plant my cucumbers. Thank you so much for watching and happy gardening.